Do you want to learn how to rapidly write new articles for your blog? Well, today I'm going to show you how to use CopyAI to write a blog post for your blog in just a couple of minutes. To do this, we are going to use multiple tools within CopyAI, and we are going to create an entire article from scratch. From the blog idea all the way through the entire blog post creation process, ending with a conclusion for our blog post. I will go through the process slowly so that you can learn how it works, and then you can do it for your own blog content. This will save you countless hours each week that you would normally spend writing blog content, so that you can focus on other tasks to help grow your business. Before we start, if you sign up for CopyAI using my link, you will receive a 7-day free trial and also a 40% discount. So don't forget to use my link in the description below. So what do we need first? First of all, we will need to generate a blog post idea, and then we will also need to generate a title. Of course, we need to start with a blog post idea. So to generate a blog post idea, we will go to the blog ideas tool within CopyAI. So as you can see, I am in CopyAI right here. I am going to go to the blog tools section, and then we are going to go to the blog ideas tool. Now, in order to generate your blog post ideas, first of all, I recommend that you enter either a product or brand name into this box right here. And then you need to enter a brief description of your product into this second box right here. So I'm going to enter my brand name in this top box. And then I'm simply going to paste in a description of my blog. Startup Handbook is a blog for entrepreneurs and startup founders. Our goal is to help people understand how startups work, what they need to do in order to start their own company, and the challenges that they will face along the way. So I have my blog name up here, and I have a brief description of my blog down below it. And there are some advanced settings that we can look at. For example, you can change the input and output languages, and you can also change the output tone as well. Now, I'm going to leave this as friendly, but if you want to, you can choose a different one of these tones. And once you are ready, simply click the Create Copy button, and CopyAI will generate loads of different blog post ideas for your blog. Now, depending on the type of blog post that you want to write, some of the ideas that have been generated will be good, and some will be bad. So you simply need to scroll through them until you find ones that you like the sound of. What everyone should know before starting their own business. I quite like this one here. So what I'm going to do is click Save. And that will save that one so that I can go back to it in a minute. Building your business. A blog about startup tips and tricks. That is another interesting one. Why you should never launch a startup. We will share our thoughts and ideas on the process along with some examples. The ultimate guide to startup financing. What the most brilliant women entrepreneurs have in common. What innovative tech can do to help any small business. So as you can see, there are loads of different ideas that have been generated. If you don't like any of them, simply click the Make More button. And loads more blog ideas will be generated for you. Why do startups fail? 5 reasons why startups fail that you should know about. A blog on the reasons that causes businesses to fail. So there we go, that's another good one. I will save that right now. Launching your startup. Here's what you need to consider. A blog about what startups need to consider before starting. 5 reasons why your startup may fail. A blog highlighting startup pitfalls and ways to avoid them. That is another fantastic one there. I quite like that one. And in fact, this may be the blog idea that I use. So what I'm going to do is click Copy to copy it. And now what we are going to do is generate a title for our blog post. So I'm going to go to Blog Tools again on the left over here. And then we are going to click onto the blog title tool. So first of all, I'm going to remove my brand name from this top box. And as it's optional, I'm actually going to leave it empty. And for this second box down here, I'm going to paste in the blog post idea. And now I'll click Create Copy. And what this will do is generate blog post title ideas for my blog post idea. So let's have a look at what we have down here. So 5 reasons why your startup might fail. 5 ways to avoid startup pitfalls. 5 ways to avoid failure as a startup founder. These are all quite similar. So I think I'm just going to go with this top one right here. 5 reasons why your startup may fail. So I'll click copy on this and we have our blog title. So now I'm going to go over to the editor on the right over here. And I'm simply going to paste the title in right here. And then I'm going to select it and make it so that it is a lot bigger by making it a heading. So we have now got the title for our blog post. The blog post that we are writing will be called 5 Reasons Why Your Startup May Fail. Now what we need to do is start creating some content for our blog post. Now the first bit of content that we need is the blog intro. So I'm going to go back to the blog tools on the left over here and click onto the blog intro tool. So now what I'm going to do is paste in the blog title. And then what I'm going to do is leave the idea that we previously generated in the section which is for what the blog is about. So because we already have this, we don't need to write anything here. And once again, you can change the tone and the input and output languages. However, I'm going to leave it as they are. And then I'm simply going to click Create Copy. So now this will generate the intro for our blog post. And here we go. So CopyAI has generated multiple blocks of content that we can use for the intro for our blog post. So let's have a look down here. This one looks interesting down here. Trying to be successful at something can be scary. It doesn't matter if it's your first business or you're constantly starting new things. There's always the underlying fear of failure. That fear might take many forms, but it probably leads you into questioning your ability to succeed. Okay, I'm not going to read all of it right now, but this sounds like quite a good intro for our blog post. If I just jump down to the bottom half down here, roughly half of the businesses that I started failed, so I have seen quite a few sides of this particular coin. Okay, so I don't like the last sentence, however I like the rest of it, so I'm going to copy all of this and paste it in up here in my blog post. Now I need one more sentence to add to the intro so that the reader knows what is actually in the content. Here we go, this one here could be good. Startups are risky, but that doesn't mean they will fail. The majority of startups fail due to 5 pitfalls that are avoidable. Here's an overview of each pitfall. So I'll copy that and paste it in right here. And there we go. So the intro for our blog post has been created. I'm just going to space this out a bit so that we can read it a bit better. So we have successfully generated the intro for our blog post. Now what we need to do is generate the outline. So we'll go back over to blog tools and then click onto the blog outline tool. And we can leave all of this exactly as it is because we already have the title and we already have a brief description. And all we need to do is click Create Copy. And this will generate the outline for our blog post. So this first one I don't really like. We have a couple of good sections on this one down here. Okay, so this one here could be absolutely perfect. So we need 5 reasons why your startup may fail. We have number 1, you've got a bad team. Number 2, you've got a lousy business model. Number 3, you don't believe in yourself. Number 4, your product and marketing suck. And finally, number 5, you're not persevering and following through on your dreams and goals. So what I'm going to do is copy each of these into my blog post on the right over here. And then what I'm going to do is make it so that each of these sections are headings in the blog post. So first I'll copy this one here and paste it in and make it a heading. And then I'll do the second one. The third one. The fourth one. And finally the fifth one as well. Now I'm going to select all of them and make them all headings as well. So we have number 1, you've got a bad team. Number 2, you've got a lousy business model. Number 3, you don't believe in yourself. Number 4, your product and marketing suck. And finally, number 5, you're not persevering and following through on your dreams and goals. Now, I'm also going to add another heading, and that will be the conclusion. And there we go. So we have successfully created the outline for our blog post. Now, if you want to know how many words your blog post is while you are writing it, if you have a look at the bottom down here, we can see that there are 162 words and 956 characters. So if, for example, you want to make sure that all of your blog posts are more than 500, or maybe more than 750, or maybe even more than 1000 words long, you can easily check how many words are in your blog post while you are creating it, just by glancing at it down here. So now let's generate the content for each of these sections. I will start with section number 1. You've got a bad team. And I will go back over to the blog tools. And I'm going to go to the bullet point to blog section tool. So we have the blog topic. So now what I'm going to do is paste in the bullet point right here. And then I'll click create copy. And this will generate the content for the first section in my blog post. So here we go. Your team is the group of people you depend on to build your startup. Your team includes founders, employees, advisors, contractors, investors, and everyone who is working with you on your startup. Okay, so to use this section, I'm simply going to click copy, and then I'll click over to where I want it to be, and I'll paste it in. Now, I strongly recommend that you read all of the content that CopyAI generates before putting it into your blog post. However, I don't want to waste your time with this video, as I'm just giving you a brief example. So I'm going to copy this section right now and paste it over to the first section in my blog post, and then we can move on to the rest of it as well. So basically what I'm trying to say is make sure that you read what you are publishing before you publish it. So now let's copy section number 2. I'll paste it in up here and click create copy again. Okay, so this is fantastic. We have generated section number 2 already. So I'll copy this right here and paste it in. Now, as you can see, I actually left some out. And that is because if you read this final sentence, you can see that this bit here just stops off randomly. So I'm not going to include this final sentence because it doesn't make sense. And then there's also a space before the full stop. So I'll remove that. And there we go. So section number 2 has been added. So I'll copy and paste in section number 3. And I'll click create copy again. Okay, so once again, there is a sentence that I need to remove in this one right here. And that is this one here, because it's simply irrelevant. So I'll select it and remove it. And then I will copy this text right here. And I will paste it into the blog post, and that is section number 3 added. Now I will copy and paste the 4th heading and click create copy again. Okay, so loads more content has been generated. This first section is not very good, so I'm going to skip past that one. And I think that this second one here could be good. If you just skim over it, you can see that this one looks decent. So I'll click copy down here and I'll paste it in as section number 4. And then I'll copy heading number 5 and paste it in to the CopyAI tool. And all we need to do is generate the 5th section and then also a conclusion. And then we have successfully written an entire blog post using CopyAI. Okay, so the first one isn't good again, so I'll skip past that one. And I think this second one looks pretty good to me, so I'll copy that. And I'll paste it in as section number 5. And there we go. So all of the main content has been created. And there are 1098 words in this blog post. Now all I need to do is generate a conclusion and the blog post will be completed. So I'll put the word conclusion as the main point of the paragraph and I'll click create copy. And I just hope that a good conclusion will be generated for me right here. Okay, so I don't like the first one. How about the second? If you're building a new startup, you're already doing something unusual, but there are plenty of people who make risky decisions and still end up with mediocre results. What distinguishes the successful ones is that they also make good decisions. Okay, so I've read over it and I think that this one sounds pretty good. So there we go. The conclusion has also been generated. So in just a couple of minutes, we have generated a 1,200 word article using CopyAI. So all you need to do now is select all of your article content and copy it. And from there, you will need to create a blog post image and publish your blog post onto your website. Now, before I end this video, there is one more thing that you can do with CopyAI that will improve your blog post even more. And that is by going to the website copy section over here and generating a meta description for your blog post. So to generate the meta description for our blog post, I will leave the title in this box right here. And then I will paste in one of the blog post ideas that we generated earlier on in this video. 5 reasons why your startup may fail, a blog highlighting startup pitfalls and ways to avoid them. And then all we need to do is create the copy. And here we go. So we have now generated loads of great meta descriptions that you can use for your blog post. So then you can go ahead and use one of these meta descriptions that have been generated to optimize your blog post to help it to rank in search engine results pages. But anyway, we have successfully generated this entire blog post. We have the blog post idea, the blog post title, the intro section for the blog post, the outline, and then all of the content that goes in the blog post as well. Before I end the video, don't forget to use the link in the description of this video to get 40% off of your CopyAI subscription. So that's all for this video. I hope you enjoyed it and I will see you in the next one. Once again, thanks and goodbye.